Hi guys, my name is Nicole and with me as always is sweet Mabel. Today we're going to talk about how to choose a groomer, which a lot of people have reached out and asked me what's the best way. So you may be tempted whenever you're calling around to different shops to focus in on price or availability. And so I would say throw that out the window. That does not matter. It's expensive to get your dog groomed, period. If they're not charging enough, there may be a reason. You get what you pay for when it comes to grooming. So when you call a shop and you're going to ask questions, I would ask things like, how experienced are your groomers? What shots do you require? What is Mabel's day going to be like? Are they there for 4 to 6 hours? Are they there for 2 hours? Do they interact with other dogs? Do they interact with other people? These are important questions to me. I've worked at big box stores, I've worked at small shops, and I also own my own mobile grooming business. And I can tell you that it does not matter where you go. You want to choose the environment that's best for your dog. Some shops will do every dog start to finish. That might be great for your dog. Your dog might have anxiety and need to get in and out of the groom shop as quick as possible. Or you might have a dog who's older and needs breaks. And that's good for shops that groom and take, 4 to 6 hours to groom your dog. And you may think, why is it taking 4 hours to groom my one dog? And that's because groom shops will take several dogs in the morning and you drop your dog off at 9. And so they will bathe all of those dogs right away. Mabel's over it. And so it takes about 30 minutes to properly bathe a small or medium-sized dog. And so the groomer is spending from 9 to 10:30 to 11 bathing all 3 of the dogs that got there at 9. And then at 11, they go back and they grab the first dog and they go ahead and finish drying it, doing any other prep work, and then they do the haircut. And sometimes a haircut can take 30 minutes and sometimes it takes an hour. It all depends on the dog's coat. And so that first dog that got dropped off at 9 may not be able to get picked up till noon. Well, guess what? Dogs that need breaks, this system works great because the dog can rest and can sleep in between what's getting done, the bath and the haircut. If the shop doesn't do start to finish for every groom, if you drop off at 9, you get to pick up at 10 or 11, depending on the dog. You can ask for those services. Can you do my dog start to finish? Can I come at 2 p.m. and pick up at 4 p.m. You may have to pay extra for that service, that start to finish service, but if that's what's important to you, then it's worth the money. Another thing I would ask is, are the dogs in separate spaces? Are they in kennels? Which I am completely 100% cool with kennels. I think they're great. But let's say your dog never took to the kennel and need a hotel room, a suite to stay in. You can ask if they have those available. You can ask, do they hang out socially with other dogs in the salon? That's a really popular thing in salons lately, is that they just let the dogs all kind of hang and play together while other dogs are getting haircuts in the same area. This would be too overwhelming for Mabel. I know Mabel, and she would get easily overwhelmed by too many other dogs in the shop. And so for me, my question would be, does the dog get to go in a kennel when you're not grooming them, when they're not on the table? And so it would be important for me to have the dog be able to go to a separate space. You, as the owner, get to decide what's important to your dog's personality. These dogs, Whoodles, Doodles, Oodles, I call them, and many other breeds, have to get groomed for their entire life every 4 to 8 weeks. And so you really want this to be a positive experience. And so it's helpful to know the environment that they will be in and match them up for that. Some places too will do day camp the first half of the day, so they go out and play from 8 to noon, and then around 1 they get their hair cut. And so that's great too for some dogs. If they have a lot of energy, it helps the groomer out if they're a little tuckered. The other thing I would ask, how much experience does the groomer who has an opening have? I highly recommend choosing someone who has over 1 year experience. Students are great, and sometimes you can get a discount. If your dog is like chill and totally cool, man, help a student out. They're only going to get experience by grooming more dogs. But if your dog has any kind of issues, or you're super particular about your haircut, even though a teacher is watching them, they are still learning, and so they might go too short or too long or something like that. And so I always recommend everybody ask, how much experience does the groomer have? And I would go with 1 year. This is the main reason why. Because they are able to look at these mixed breed dogs and they will know what's going to be cute on them. If you walk in there and you're like, oh, I don't know what haircut to get, they will say, I groom a dog that looks a lot like that. I've got an idea in mind. And you can say, you know, short round face, short round ears, and you know, I want to be able to come every 6 weeks for grooming. And then that groomer will definitely know, okay, this haircut's going to be really great. I also recommend asking for the same groomer every time. So if the facility will not let you do that, I wouldn't take my dog there. Here's why. When you choose the same groomer every time, your dog gets to know them and love them, and the groomer gets to know them and love them. Every time we groom a dog, we pay attention to everything: their coat, their skin, their eyes, their nose, their teeth. We look at all of that stuff every single time we groom them. And so if anything should happen health-wise, we're going to be the first ones to know. You only take your dog to the vet once a year, but you take your dog to the groomer every 4 to 8 weeks. The other thing that happens after asking for the same person is that you will get a haircut that you love. I say give every groomer 3 chances. And, you know, when you get home, you're going to say, oh, I wish we would have left the legs longer or the ears longer or gone shorter on the chin. You can ask them the next time you come in, because a good groomer will make notes about the haircut that they did. And so then when you go back in, you can say, oh, I need this adjustment. And within about 3 haircuts, you're going to get very close to the perfect haircut for your dog. They also get to know all of your dog's little quirks, right? They know, oh, this dog smiles when they're nervous, whereas if the groomer didn't know them, they might think that they were snarling at them. Or this dog has a lump on its elbow, so I'm going to be really careful right there. Or, you know, this dog has seizures, so I want it to come in on a quieter grooming day so that it's not super overwhelmed. Asking for the same groomer is so great for you and for your dog. They will take excellent care of every dog, but a bond starts forming when you're grooming these dogs over and over. And there were some dogs that I groomed from they're a 10-week-old puppy, and I groomed that dog till it was 15. And so that dog and me, you know, we had a relationship, and that happened with so many dogs. And so it's really great to just ask for the same person. And if they aren't there, let's say, oh, you found the perfect groomer and you love them, and now they're going on vacation or something. That groomer will also know someone else in the shop who they can recommend. Mabel's coming in and she can be a little bit head shy, so just go slow and give her cookies and she's fine. I, as the groomer, would let the other groomer know, here are the quirks, here's the haircut I do, you know, please take good care of her while I'm on vacation. Last tip is on tips. Should you tip your groomer? Absolutely. You don't have to do math like 20% or something. These Whoodles, Doodles, Oodles, depending on size, you know, can start at $50, $60 and go up to $150, just kind of depending on the size of the dog and the coat length. So you don't have to do like 20%, but I would recommend at least doing $10, like at least. That shows your groomer that you care about them and you appreciate the hard work that they're doing. Grooming is hard work. If you're watching any of my other videos, you know, I'm trying to help you guys be able to groom at home or groom in between grooms, right? To save you guys some money so that you can wait a little bit longer between taking them in. But I still recommend, you know, I groom Mabel every 6 weeks. And that's because I don't want to deal with mats and I don't want to have to shave her down, but I want to be able to go to the dog park and let her play and let her swim and do all those fun things. And so even if I didn't know how to groom, I would still be taking her in every 6 weeks to have a professional groom her and get her hair cut. Please let us know any ideas for content that you may have or questions that you may have. We are happy to jump on here and just do a little talking session like this. Or Obviously, I love to do the how-tos. Here's a list of questions if you wanted to take a quick screenshot. Remember, it's all about your dog's personality. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.